You're watching Nittany Nation Update.
Hey, what's going on, party people? Peter Terpster here at the Nittany Nation State College set. This is your Nittany Nation Update. It is Wednesday, late August. Can't even remember what day it is, but I know that Saturday, August 31st, it's going down. Penn State's going to open the season against Idaho, 3:30 p.m., televised on the Big Ten Network. Today, I wanted to talk quarterbacks. Like, we haven't done enough of that, right? Sean Clifford, he's your starter. But before we talk about Cliff Dog and Will Levis, the backup, and maybe even the freshman quarterbacks after that, let's go back a little bit to Tommy Stevens and his exit from Penn State. I got to say, I'm not surprised that Tommy Stevens transferred, just from the fact that he graduated in December. And what that means is, if he would have transferred before he did, he wouldn't have been able to play right away, right? You got to have, your degree to be a grad transfer and to be eligible to play right away. He had not done that yet. And if he had transferred the year before, he would have had to sit out a year. It wasn't as enticing of a situation to transfer then when he did. But the thing is, you can't argue, it totally worked out. I mean, as of right now, he's the starter at Mississippi State, named last week, just before Penn State named their starting quarterback. So, it's kind of funny. Tommy Stevens transfers, becomes a starting quarterback before Penn State announces theirs, only by like a day or two, if I remember correctly. So that's not really a big deal. But boy, wouldn't it be something if Penn State and Mississippi State meet up in a bowl game? Cool. I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome. And good for Tommy. Tommy's got his chance to start. He's got 1 year left of eligibility. If he wants to go to the league, if he wants to, turn this into a career, he's got to play, and he's got to play well, and he's got his shot at Mississippi State. Now let's come back to Penn State. Sean Clifford, can't say I'm surprised about him being named the starting quarterback either. As we've said before on Nittany Nation Game Day, on Nittany Nation Overtime with the Nitwits, Sean Clifford was the backup to Trace McSorley last year. You probably remember him from being like nearly perfect passing on the year, right? He played in a lot of garbage time when Penn State had big leads on some of their lesser opponents. But his first incompletion came in the bowl game when Trace McSorley went out with like that foot injury before, becoming Superman and coming back in. And they thought it was a broken foot. I'm not sure if it really was. I don't know. But he threw his first incompletion in that game, and it bounced right off the hands of DeAndre Tompkins. And I believe he took a sack as well. So, that was kind of the first time we saw Sean Clifford, not look like immaculate. But we're talking like he played in 4 games, right? Very limited snaps. Not a lot of, sample size for that. So we're going to get our first real look at Sean Clifford against Idaho. Will Levis is the backup for Penn State. So Will Levis redshirted last year, was kind of the scout team quarterback. And the thing about him, and I think the thing about this competition is, technically these two guys have already competed. A totally different situation. Don't even know if you can draw a line between the two. But someone had to be Trace McSorley's backup quarterback last year, and it ended up being Sean Clifford, who had previously redshirted, a little older. But they decided to redshirt Will Levis. And you would think, if Will Levis was, I guess, a freshman phenom, maybe he wouldn't have redshirted. Maybe he could have stepped into the backup role. Kind of all leads us to where we are today. Sean Clifford, earning the backup role last year. Sean Clifford earning the starting spot this year after competing with Tommy Stevens and Will Levis. And I tell you what, I have a lot of high hopes for this guy. Maybe it's because he's I don't know. He seems like a happy kid. He's got that. He's a PR major. I looked up, but he's great in interviews. And he just seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. A likable guy. But we will hear from Sean Clifford for the first time since being named starting quarterback coming up tonight at 11. So you'll want to see that. He's going to speak after practice. And that'll be nice to hear and, kind of get his take on things because so far, we've heard from Coach, we've heard from Clifford's teammates, but we're going to hear from Clifford coming up tonight at 11. So that'll be fun. Let's talk about the freshman quarterbacks for a second. So you had two freshman quarterbacks come in and enroll early. So that gives them a head start. Michael Johnson Jr. and Taquan Roberson. Coach had said last week that they're looking to redshirt both of those guys if they can. Obviously that depends on how the season plays out. And that could probably do some. They have a wealth of quarterbacks. They have a huge stable of running backs. Those are two positions that they certainly have not had trouble with. So, those are the two freshmen, just to mention them and keep an eye out for them. And if all goes well against Idaho, Michael Schuster had a great Fu Manchu. Love it. He's a guy that is not on scholarship. He's a guy that I don't think he's played a snap yet. To get that guy in a game, whether it's Idaho, Buffalo, whatever, to get that guy in the game would mean a lot. I mean, I think that'd be really cool. So that's kind of your Nittany Nation update, quarterback edition for today. We're just starting this thing, so I really want to hear from you guys on what you want to see, right? So you can tweet at me at PETA WTAJ, so at PEETA WTAJ. That's my Twitter. You can send me an email. You can reach us at sports@WTAJTV.com. And send us your questions. What do you want to hear about? We'll talk about it. We'll break down, everything we've heard, everything we know, and that'll, give us nice, fresh, exciting stuff to talk about on this show every day. So go ahead and hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. That's going to do it for me for your Nittany Nation update here Wednesday, and we'll check in with you guys another time. Okay, bye.